If you decrease cycle count, you can actually increase your distance per stroke, and that's going to allow you to swim with slower strokes, and that's going to make you swim faster. That's right, if you swim slower, you'll actually swim faster. I know it's super counterintuitive, but in this video, I'm gonna show you 4 different ways that you can apply this, so make sure you watch this video until the very end, because I guarantee you're gonna learn something new. Now, the first place we have to start is understanding the only 2 ways to swim faster. That's decreased drag and increased propulsion. I've said it before on the channel many times, water is 800 times more dense than air. So if you want to understand the other stuff we're going to talk about in this video, you have to fundamentally understand that if you want to swim faster, you have to decrease drag. That means your head position, body position, basically swimming through the water in a more compact way. Now, the second way you swim faster is increasing propulsion. This is the way you pull, and we'll get into the swimming equation in just a little bit, but by understanding these 2 components, that's how we can start to talk about these 4 different ways that you can actually swim slower in order to swim faster. Now, the first thing we need to discuss is technique. We talked about the resistance of the water, and here's why you need to swim slowly in order to swim more quickly on command. First of all, you gotta start slow so you don't slip. We've all been there where you just try and swim as fast as you can and you spin your arms around, and next thing you know, you're spending all of this energy and you're not going as fast. You're not going as fast distance per stroke wise, and you're just expending all of your energy, and that's because you're slipping. So oftentimes you can actually pull way more water if you just slow things down and you work on the technique. So technique development is extremely important, especially when it comes to drills. So this is where you break apart the stroke into an individual component. You might be wearing equipment, you might be doing our favorite 3 strokes and 12 kicks, the zipper drill, single arm freestyle, whatever it is. You're trying to develop a feel of the water, and this is related to that increasing propulsion. So if you think about building that early vertical forearm, right? If you try and pull too quickly, you're not going to be able to get the right timing and the right angles at the right time in order to pull the most water in the most efficient way. So you actually have to train this slowly, and as you build your feel of the water, and this applies to all of the strokes, then you can transfer this to a little bit more speed and power. It's sort of, I love the bodybuilding example. If you've ever been in the gym and you have some dumbbells and you're trying to do arm curls and you find yourself like swinging the weight up, well, you're kind of cheating because you're not really activating the muscle. You're basically trying to force it, and that's the equivalent of slipping in the water. So if you watch a bodybuilder lift weights, the movements are very controlled. They're trying to engage as many muscles as you can. And from a technical perspective, when it comes to technique, that's what you have to do. When you're swimming for power and some other more complicated training regimens, that's where some of this stuff doesn't apply as much. But when it comes to the basics, you have to slow it down and you have to execute the drills and the stroke technique with precision. So you develop that speed over time. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is this intersection of cycle count and stroke rate. So this beautiful equation right here, this is called the swimming equation. Now, in the past, I've done a number of videos dedicated specifically to understanding this equation and using it so that you can swim faster. So if you haven't seen one of those videos, make sure you head over, we'll link it down below, and watch that video after this one. But in a quick summary, the Cliff Notes version of it, you have your swimming time equal to your start time, plus your underwater time, plus your turn time, plus the thing we're going to focus on, your cycle count times your stroke rate. Now, cycle count is just a fancy way of saying how many strokes you take per length. So if we're trying to figure out how long it takes you to get to 25 meters or 50 meters, this is the equation that'll help us get there. Now, if you notice, this part of the equation is really the part that you're swimming over the water, and that's what I want to focus on. So if you can decrease your cycle count, that means you take less strokes per length. That means you're increasing DPS. That stands for distance per stroke. Essentially, think breaststroke. You take 10 strokes in the length, you breathe 10 times, and I actually want you to decrease the cycle count. So instead of 10 strokes, you're going to take 8 strokes. So that's going to increase your distance per stroke. So if you're traveling 2 meters per stroke, now you're going to travel 2.5 meters per stroke. Now here's the trick. If you can maintain or even decrease your stroke rate, as long as you don't decrease your stroke rate more than the change in cycle count, you're actually going to swim faster. And you're doing that with a slower stroke rate. That's what SR is, stroke rate. So you have a slower stroke rate, you're not taking strokes as quickly, and this makes sense. The fastest swimmers in the world, even though they're moving really fast, they're not taking a lot of strokes. So what that means is there's more power per stroke. So if you think about the whole point of this video is teaching you that if you want to swim faster, it doesn't necessarily mean you just move your arms faster, you try and swim faster. You're actually sort of swimming slower. You actually can decrease your stroke rate, the rate at which your arms are moving, whether it's breaststroke or freestyle. I know I'm showing breaststroke a lot, but whatever the stroke is, if you actually have more power per stroke, you're taking less strokes and you're probably going to swim faster. Now, the equation is really important because let's say you just decrease your stroke count and you decrease your stroke rate, so everything just gets slower and you're not getting that distance per stroke that's more than that change in stroke rate. Well, then you're just going to get slower. So yes, if you swim slower, you will also get slower. So you have to be really careful here in managing the paces. And at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about a few different ways that you can manage this. But really, it's all about swimming more efficiently. That is the key. We're trying to increase our distance per stroke so we can swim more efficiently. Another great way to improve your swimming is by learning how to swim at different speeds. And a great way to do that is inside of a master spa.
What's going on, swim fans? I'm currently sitting in the Michael Phelps Signature Momentum Swim Spa. This model has an adjustable current that is great for all levels. You can focus on your technique, swim all 4 strokes, and you can do it all from the comfort of your own house. I love how easy it is to adjust the speed and swim at my own pace. I can go from really slow all the way up to sub 1 minute per 100 meters, which is absolutely flying. Now, I've been in a few different models, and what I love about the Master Spa's Signature Momentum is how it gives you a really good workout, and it also doubles as a spa. It combines the benefits of swimming with a therapy of a hot tub. You have to give it a try, so head over to masterspas.com/MySwimPro to get $1,000 off a swim spa or $500 off a hot tub. Now, if you don't mind, I have to get back to my swim workout.
Most people only have 2 speeds when they're swimming. You've got slow and you have fast. Some people tell me they have 2 speeds, but it goes a little different. Swimming slow and swimming not as slow. Regardless of where you're at in that, that's a problem because there's actually many more layers of speed, and that will help you train to be faster. So here's what I'm talking about. Rather than thinking I have 2 speeds, slow and fast, that's how most people are, there's actually 7 different speeds, and these are different effort levels. So I actually laid them out right here. You have aerobic speeds and you have anaerobic speeds. And if you're following a workout in the MySwimPro app, all of the workouts and all the sets actually are color-coded as to what effort level every single set is. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go to the App Store, iPhone and Android, get your swim coach, MySwimPro, and get rolling. But when you think about these different levels from easy, moderate, endurance, threshold, these are all aerobic. This is longer swimming. These are a little bit slower. And as you get down here, you start to increase the speed. When you get to threshold, you're swimming pretty fast, but you're not getting a lot of rest. And then when you transition into the anaerobic side of things, you're doing best average, race pace, and sprint. And the more advanced of a swimmer you become, your ability to actually change gears, kind of like a car, improves. And that allows you to swim at different speeds, so you can actually train your body to swim slower at these different speeds so that you can throttle up and swim faster. Most people swim on average in this moderate endurance level, and then they have race pace. They don't even know, most people don't even know what's possible in the sprint. This is like absolute madness. We're talking 25 meters or less, neuromuscular engagement, it's just chaos. Most people can never even get there, and it allows you to get there if you train at these other levels. Similarly, when you train at these different effort levels, you can actually go even slower and you can maintain good stroke mechanics. But if you only think that you have 2 speeds, you're wrong. You have many more gears than that, and it's really important that you tap into it. So if you're not following a structured program that actually incorporates all of these, you're definitely missing out, so you gotta check out the MySwimPro app. Now the fourth method of swimming slower in order to swim faster is by building endurance. So the reason why you don't want to just swim everything race pace is because you can't do that for very long. So if you want to really develop yourself as an athlete and as a swimmer, you have to actually learn how to handle yourself over a course of a very long time, whether that's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. You can't survive a 2-hour swim workout or a 1-hour swim workout for that matter at race pace. It doesn't work like that. You have to break it up, and that's why interval training is so important. When you do interval training, just like I showed you in the MySwimPro app, instead of doing 500 meters straight, you're gonna do 5 100s with a short rest interval after. So if it takes you 2 minutes to swim the 100 and you know you're gonna have only 20 seconds of rest, that's how you're gonna pace yourself, and you know you're gonna do 5 100s in 11 minutes. Carry the 20 seconds, about 12 minutes. We'll do the math there. So that's why it's really important to build endurance, because if you only swim at one level, you're never going to be able to really develop yourself both technically as well as from a capacity perspective. And that's why it's really important to maintain heart rate at different levels. So it's really boring sometimes to do this, but it's actually very beneficial to swim slower, to maintain a lower heart rate, especially if your goal is to swim over a longer period of time, to swim faster over a longer period of time. So that's why I highly recommend interval training. So let me know what questions you guys have down below in the comments. And if you thought this video was insightful and you learned something about swimming faster, let me know again down below in the comments. And I really think you're gonna enjoy this video right here, how to take your swimming to the next level. I'll see you over there, and happy swimming.